Finally this week, the advanced technology of the smartphone has impacted our lives like never before. Most of us can't imagine a day, much less a moment, that we're without it. So just what kind of impact are these devices making in our everyday lives? How are they shifting behaviors? Are they creating or limiting our interactions? Photographer Eric Pickersgill wanted to take a look at the psychological and social effects behind cell phone cameras and the role they play in our society. You may be astonished or dismayed by what he found.
When I'm shooting film, I have to slow down, I have to be in the moment. I have to double check all of my settings and make sure that the focus is exactly where I want it to be. And then you really hold that shutter in your hand and you wait for that very specific and decisive moment. And that for me is like when the magic happens. That's when I actually make a photograph that I am excited by. My name is Eric Pickersgill, and I'm a photographer and artist. Using my camera and going out into public and setting up this enormous view camera gave me the opportunity to start conversations with people, which eventually led into building relationships with people that I otherwise wouldn't have had a reason to discuss anything with. You know, I was just kind of passing by.
What about through the door? Like if you stand right there and I photograph through the door?
When you have the camera and you have a purpose, people
like
start to engage with you and they want to ask questions, and therefore they also want to answer questions. This is the depths of the Eric Pickersgill archive. These are prints from all the way back to stuff that I made even in high school. This was actually the first portrait I ever made of a stranger. This guy's name was Eddie in Chicago. It was the first time I brought out the view camera and was walking around the city looking for people. After that moment, I started to feel like I wanted to do it more. I caught this bug, I was really excited and energized by the way that the camera helped create that relationship. These are some prints from my thesis work actually, where I'd photographed families who were living for free in foreclosed homes in Chicago. But with this project, after spending months with these families and making these pictures, I didn't know exactly how these photographs were going to directly impact their lives. Like, what difference was this going to actually make for these people? And so at the end of undergrad, I was kind of ready to just quit photography. And my wife kind of helped me think through that, and really, she kind of gave me the kernel of saying, well, you have the choice of what you make, and through that you can make decisions that will help impact other people and help benefit people's lives. You don't have to make art for art's sake. I was at a cafe one morning and I was just doing a little bit of research and writing, just kind of collecting my thoughts. And then this family walked into the cafe and they sat down at the booth just next to me. And I remember immediately everybody sat down and pulled out their phones. It was a mother, a father, and two daughters. And everybody was on their phone except for the mom. And I remember she just kind of stared out the window. I left that cafe that morning just really being aware of device use, and I thought about it and I was like, man, how much time have I been using my device? How many times have I ignored the people around me, or have I not really cherished the moment that I was in? And so one night I was falling asleep back to back with my wife, and I'm scrolling through the internet on my phone, and as my eyes kind of drifted off and got heavy, my hand loosened just enough for my phone to fall out of my palm and it hit the floor. And the sound of the phone hitting the floor woke me up, and my hand was still resting beside me on the bed, and it was open as if I was still holding my phone. And in that very specific moment, I was like, this is a photograph. I started approaching people with the view camera like I did in Chicago.
Sorry to bother y'all. I'm an artist and I've been working on this project called Removed, where I remove people's phones from their hands right before I make the picture. Would you mind if I made a portrait with just having you guys go back to exactly where you were just a second ago? Is that okay? Yeah. Awesome, cool. Okay, so you're gonna stay exactly how you are. Keep looking down. All right, and so I'm gonna slide your phones from your hand, and you're gonna just keep your hand exactly the way it is. And so just stay perfectly still. Awesome. You guys can relax. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. New technology creates new behaviors, and it takes time for the users of that technology to catch up. And I'm starting to call this shift behavior lag.
My grandfather was one of the first people in his community to have a motion picture camera. It was the first time that people in my family had been on camera.
The family was assembling themselves to have their portrait made, but yet they were being filmed in motion. They were performing for the camera in the way that they've been told to their entire lives. Only after they saw themselves on film did their behavior start to change.
They're living in front of the camera as opposed to posing for the camera. So I think we're in this moment right now where we're all kind of shifting our posture and our body language and our use of this technology to just be so focused down on our hands. And we haven't yet seen the full consequences of that. I just got back from Lianzhou, which is a seemingly small town in southern China, and I had an exhibition of my Remove series there. There were almost 20 images. Standing in that gallery in front of these prints and seeing people interact with them and have that moment of realization right in front of me, but in a place where they speak, a very different language than my own, but they still get the meaning of the work, I think shows the power of photography and the language that photography is, that it transcends culture, and was just really inspiring. For me as an artist, after the work went viral, it was really important for me to get the work back out of the internet. For the work to manifest itself as prints in the physical world, as objects. Photographs do more than just show what is out there, but they, when done a certain way, can help educate people.
That's it for this week. Join the conversation with us on social media and get the latest news headlines and connect to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Weibo. Until then, I'm Mike Walter in New York City. We'll see you next time.